Everybody doing good? Have a good break?
Yep.
Back from London, all right? All right, good. All right, so we're back at it. We had a good little practice today, which was good. Have a little 10-10-10. Obviously, everyone has seen the news with Kyle, with putting him on the IR. I think it's been a tough situation just because of what he's been going through and where he's at. But that's where it's at right now. And he's always been really good to us and what he's done, and we just felt like that was where he's at right now, and it's what we wanted to do. So that's that. Let's see, we had Bilal, Ted Larson, and Taylor Gabriel were all at practice today, so that was good to see. No updates or nothing new with Akeem Hicks, and then same thing with Ten. He was out there with Mitchell. He was out there today, but his situation again for us is just seeing exactly where he's at with pain, where he's just all of us collaborating exactly to see where he is so that we can make a decision as to which way we want to go for this week, if he's ready or if he's not ready. So that's the injuries.
With Akeem, with the possibility for a return, where are you on the discussions of potentially putting him on IR with that door open for? Again,
so working through all that, I think that's going to be important here in the next, couple days for us to decide, what's the best thing for that. I think, there's for us is you got to always start with the player, and then you got to see how is it for us as a team, and then you just put them together and figure out what's best. I think I have a ultimate trust in our doctors and Andre Tucker, our trainer, and then just talking to Akeem where he's at, but we'll end up making a decision, and I think there's a couple different ways to go, and we'll kind of play it out here in the next couple of days.
His elbow was dislocated on that.
Again, I hate to put exact where I really don't even know exactly what the details of it, but he was hurt pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think there was a singular injury incident with Long. How did that develop, and how did it affect his play as it progressively?
Yeah, I mean, there was just, again, there's wear and tear. He's been in the league a little while too, so you get some of that, but it's something that for him and for where we were at, it was the best decision that we can make. And so, I mean, I just, we have, these are decisions that we got to make, and it was collaborative through all of us.
It was such a big thing for him to practice every day.
Yeah.
Start again. Do you ever second guess yourself and say, hey, maybe we should have babied him a little more, and this might not have happened?
I don't necessarily think that. It would be easy to go that route, but that's always second guessing yourself. You know what I mean? So. We did what we thought was best throughout this whole course, and he's I give him credit for he even going back to training camp, he had a really good training camp, all that stuff, and then you get to the preseason, and but it is what it is. It's a part of where we're at.
He played every snap in London.
Yeah.
How did he take this decision to put him on IR? How did he?
Yeah, I mean, he understands. I mean, it's not something that, again, we do all this together, So I mean, when we go through this stuff, he wants to be able to be healthier, and it's where we're at. It's just been something that's been nagging him, and it's nothing that's been crazy significant, but it's at a point where that's what we need to do.
Matt, what might a healthy right guard do for your running game? A guy who can physically climb and block.
There's obviously you understand when a move like this is made, right? And then you have the issues that we've had with the run game. It's really easy to go ahead and just say, is it because of one person? I can clear it up and tell you right now, it's not because of one person. So I don't know where that goes with whoever that next person is, but we know that there's a lot more to our run game than one person. For instance, Kyle Long. There's a lot more to it than him.
How much do you feel that it affected Kyle on the field? In other words, like when you were watching him on tape and you didn't maybe know that there was an injury, how different did he look to you?
Well, it's there. I mean, Kyle would tell you, that you can see it. There's plays that jump out where you just say, that doesn't really seem like him. But we understand that. He understands it, and it's just where we're at.
Man, just to confirm, is he for sure out for the rest of the year?
What's that?
Kyle Long.
Kyle Long is on IR, yes. Yep,
Won't return.
right, correct. Yep, nope, yep.
Matt, how much time were you able to sit down this week, really focus on the offense, and maybe come up with some solutions to some of the questions that have been bothering you?
Yeah, Jeff. So I had a lot of time. What you have to do is you need to make sure that when you get time like this, and I tell the players this, get away and take your mind off of where things are. It's so easy as a player and a coach to get caught up in the trees and just be like, you're especially on offense with some of the struggles we've had to try to get caught up in all that and consume yourself with it. There's a right way and a wrong way, and I feel like the past several days, really all last week, I've had a good balance of being able to to reflect, kind of reload on where we are, and I feel good right now with what. With the stuff that we've done as a staff, what we've discussed, where we're at, and then looking for solutions. That's the number one thing here is for us 5 games into it, we could be in a lot different scenario and we're not. And I promise you then that what we're going to get from here on out is just for us as a team is guys that come to work every day, coaches that come to work every day that are positive, energetic, having fun, and just worrying about today.
In the past, I know you've used a fullback before. Now you kind of have JP in that hybrid role. What goes into balancing whether or not to carry that on your roster as a full-time fullback?
Just sometimes where you're at as an offense, how does he help you? Is there things that he can do in the run game and in the pass game? He has a mentality to him that we like. That there's a toughness and there's a he's somebody that is willing. He's a willing participant per se, and I like that. I like guys that go in there and have a little toughness to them. So he brings that element to us. And so now what you do is it's another piece to the puzzle that you got to try to figure out how it fits.
Matt, what was last week like for the coaching staff? I know the players get away, but you guys.
Yeah, we were in for Tuesday and part of Wednesday. They were in the office Tuesday and Wednesday, and then everyone had off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So now there's a lot of discussions that go on, and but we try to tell everybody to get away and come back fresh.
For you personally, when you're Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, does your mind ever? Do you let yourself relax at all? Or?
I don't think I do. I need to, but I try. There's times when I do. When my kids are at home and they're around, I'm a dad, and that's what they get. When they're not around, then I'm not letting my mind is staying put on football.
When did Mitch start throwing again? And how much has he been able to throw?
He was out there today,
First day throwing?
Yeah, today, yeah. Yep, he was throwing the ball, so I thought he looked good, but we'll see as the week goes, exactly how he feels and where he's at.
How much did you guys let him throw today? Did you have him on a pitch count?
No, I just go off a feel,
You have a few options at right guard now. Mm-hmm. A veteran, a young guy you've been developing, and then another guy in the practice squad, probably an Alex Bars. What do you like about those 3 guys where they're at right now?
Yeah, they're all and they're different. Like you said, you got one veteran in Ted Larson that's done it for a while. He started several games. And then you got, Coward, who again, we, transitioned over from defense. And then you got a young guy in Alex Bars. So between the 3 of them, I think it'll be fun for us to kind of work through where we want to go with that. And then whoever it is, let's go. There's no looking back. Communication process, and we don't care about any of that. Whoever it is, when you get in there, it's time to go.
It was a small sample size, but what did you like what Richard did in that game when he had to come in on short notice?
He had an edge to him. That was pretty neat to see. So again, short notice. We talked about guys sweeping the sheds. I mean, he was a backup to the backup that game. I mean, Ted ended up starting, and he came in, and he had a nice little physical edge that I liked in the run game and the pass game. And he's learning, but he works hard and he gives us everything that he has.
As you kind of self-scouted over the last couple days,
Yeah.
How much of that was on tendencies, like play calling tendencies for you?
A little bit of everything. I mean, that's human nature to do that, because you want to find out, there's some things that just aren't going to change, but then there's some that are pretty glaring, and I think those are the ones where you got to say, okay, how do I maybe break that just a little bit so that the defenses can't always just say every time they're doing this or that to help us. So there was that, and then there was some other stuff too. But for the most part, it does go quick. The bye week goes quick, and it's here. But it's also good because I think for a few days you get away, and now you can tell there's a vibe out there on the field today with all the coaches, the players. You could feel like everyone's refreshed.
We watched Kyle, a player who's this far into his career, as his fourth straight year in IR. How in tune are you with sort of the emotional element for him and the finality end of this?
Yeah, I feel like personally, Dan, that's one of my strengths is dealing with these players and where they're at and how they feel. And there's a connection there that you need to have. The part of that makes it easier is when you run into these situations, you want to be able to have strong relationships with your players so that when there are tough decisions that have to be made, it's natural and it doesn't feel scripted. It doesn't feel like this is the first time I'm talking to you in months, So there's and then you get a guy like Kyle who's poured his heart and soul into this organization and has worked really hard to be dominant in a lot of areas. And we appreciate it. I've only been with him for a year and a half, but I appreciate the way that he's really gone about things. And so, that's just where we're at right now.
How do you describe how hard this is on him here at this point?
Yeah, it's not easy. I mean, it's that you'd have to ask him and see what he says. But just knowing the type of competitor that he is and his care that he has for this team, for his brothers, his family, it's not easy, So it's just part of the process. So.
Challenge for you as a coach when, Akeem's never dealt with this before in his career, while managing him, while also managing the 53 guys who are,
Yeah, that's another whole deal as well, is just how when somebody goes through this type of injury, how do you handle that? Do you, and that's so personally, where am I at with him? But then also you have the roster side of it too. So just making sure that, all that kind of meshes together.
How tough is it?
I'm gonna win one.
Yeah, it's all right. He's tried 3 times. Y'all keep getting them. Yeah.
In the last 8 days, you talked in Monday and London about having difficult decisions to make.
Yeah.
Kyle was one of them, I presume. What did you learn about yourself, and how you navigated these kind of complicated things during the bye?
As far as decisions or just myself?
Yeah, both.
Yeah, well, I think it's a situation where for me, as the leader, everything starts with me, right? So with these players, with the coaches, it all begins there. I want to make sure that my personality and who I am never gets affected and never changes. And we talked about it. There's a lot of things that have gone on this year in the first 5 weeks of the season that didn't really necessarily happen last year in the first season. So for me, I got to step back and look at the 30,000-foot view for me as to where am I at right now and how can I help make my part and make us better. And whatever that part is, whether that's X's and O's, whether that's leadership skills, communication, whatever that is. So I feel like I have a good grip on that. And so we'll see where that goes. But that's to me where it starts. And so I had a chance to do that. And then as far as the decision making goes, again, that's whoever. There's a bunch of us that make decisions, but those come and go, and there's going to be tough decisions. That's why I'm in this role right now.
And when you rewatch,
adversity-wise, how tough is it for just this team to move forward without 2 of their bigger personalities, longer tenured guys, in Long and Hicks, just 2 huge parts of the team the last few years?
Yeah, well, they're huge parts of the team in more ways than just personalities. I mean, there's some big dudes now. And so you look at those 2 guys going against each other in training camp. They're massive individuals, but it is what it is, And so we love those guys, and we appreciate them, but we can't look back. We got to go, and I'm not going to let anybody sit here and talk about what if or anything. That's where we're at. There's all these other teams that are having a bunch of different injuries and situations that go on too. So that's the last thing that we're going to do is make excuses because we have 2 guys out. That's not how we do it.
you talked about the run game last week, losing one-on-one battles.
Mm-hmm.
When you went back and watched those, where does it leave you going forward? How do you clean that stuff up?
Well, there's a teaching process to it. So for us, we got to teach them the right stuff, all of us, including myself. And then when they get a chance to do it, you got to do it. There's only so much where you say, okay, I'll get it next time, or we'll get it next time together. And I have ultimate trust in our guys. I really do. I mean that. We've had some good conversations, and our guys on that line will be the first to tell you that they want to play better. That's no secret. So now they're going to get guaranteed 11 more chances to do that. And we'll see where it goes. They can't worry about 2 games or 3 games down the road. We got to worry about the Saints this coming weekend. And I just really appreciate who our guys are, because they can handle criticism. They can handle criticism, and they understand that that's an element to us getting better on offense.
What do you think about the fact that New Orleans lost one of their star players, but they've been able to beat you?
Yeah, it's impressive, but that's what good teams do. They work through adversity. They don't care about the what ifs. They don't feel sorry for themselves, and that's I was talking to the team this morning, and we're not there yet, but we're about 3 to 4 weeks away from when you start getting to that road where it starts splitting, right? And so you start seeing the teams that go this way and that way, and so we're at 3-2 right now where we sit. Every game is just its own game for us to have a chance to win and go down the right road. We're in a position right now where they know that, and there's been some adversity early on. But shoot, at the same time, we're 3-2. Let's worry about what happens from here on out.
Even if Trubisky is fully functional, how do you similar to last year? How do you determine whether he can take a hit? Who makes that?
If he ends up playing, if he's able to play, then he plays, and then it's like. I was dealing with my son playing youth football this weekend. If he's hurt and he's going to get the okay to play, then you can't tell somebody to play a game and not get hit. You can't do it. If you're okay to play a game, then you're okay to get hit. It's not hard. It's pretty simple. For me, it is.
What do you need to see from Bill Nichols this week to make sure he's ready to go?
Yeah, just again, he's been out a couple weeks, so now it's just the ability for him to show probably just more conditioning than anything. I mean, he has that cast on him, but he has some the fingers that he's able to use. So again, if you're able to be out there and you're able to suit up and go out there, then to me, let's go.
Two more. Besides talking, Mitch, what do you want to see with your eyes in the coming days that tell you, okay, he is good to go?
I just want to be able to see, because the physical part that we're talking about, that's coming from our experts saying that he's able to do that. So if he's able to play, then I want to just be able to see the stuff I've always been looking for, which is just in and out of the huddle, making throws at the right time, and then making proper decisions, whether it's in the run game or the pass game. But nothing's really different than that. It's just a matter of execution, really, for all of us.
Matt, with Gabriel coming back, being cleared or coming off concussion, what could he bring a different dimension than him missing last year?
Yeah, well, the one thing that Taylor brings is he has that one element of downfield speed that helps out. So you're able to take the top off of some defenses with him, and then he's one of those wide receivers for us that, like Allen Robinson, he's got experience. So there's a calming in the huddle that you understand that he knows what to do versus certain coverages. And he's coming off a pretty good game in Washington, and unfortunately got hurt. But there's a calming element to him, and then being able to take the top off. All right, guys.